Thanks. Red, and just to add one thing to what Weka was saying,
Yeah.
I totally hear you. I think it's also just the concern um, that I have about ultra conservatives in this country that I see pop up on Twitter and in other places. So not only are they gender ideology critical, they're also anti-gay, and that I find very alarming.
I don't know. We have like a similar kind of similar situation here in South America. We try to emulate the Gringos a lot.
The gay men thing infuriates me. Um, that that a lot of them don't get that women were there for them during their fight. And again, we don't need a medal. Of course, we should be. That was that truly was a human rights issue. But now to say, oh well, suck it up, women, not our problem. I find it infuriating.
That's part of all of it too. Um, the denial of everything, the denial of any power, the denial of self-actualization of actual women. It just goes on and on. You couldn't create a more perfect gaslighting, trauma-inducing storm in 50% of the population if you sat down and planned it like a blueprint.
I stood with them, and I went to all the bars and clubs, and I saw everything, and it was, exposed to everything and anything. And all I have to say to that is I think um, this is just my thought, because I always look at what is their perspective, how are they looking at this. And I think a lot of times people are looking at things all from different perspectives. And what I mean by that is, when people are talking about like trans going into women's washrooms, right? What they might be picturing is that young kid that's confused um, with their sexuality, or their, whether they feel more male or female, right? Or it's that transsexual that is actually, um, you know, as an adult decided, that was the path they were going to take, and they fully embrace, you know, their new sexuality, or their new I don't even know, there's so many terms and stuff. I don't want to misconstrue how I'm saying anything, but they've been a trans woman for a long time, right? And they have no bad intention, right? Like, they might be looking at it from that perspective, that those are the people that want to share the space. Maggie, what I was trying to say is, I just think maybe your friends are looking at it from a different perspective, an innocent perspective. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyways, that's all I had to add to that.
They are seeing it through innocent eyes, but I don't see that as a positive anymore.
Because each successive generation has already been softened. The fight is now. Spiky.
Yeah, I was just thinking
And then Emmy.
yeah, I was just thinking in reference to Maggie's gay mates. It might be worth mentioning, I don't know whether they'll know it, that lesbians were kicked out of Pride in Cardiff. If it's not too hard to do for you and you're not going to get too much shit, speaking out on a gentle way about it somehow, like saying what's going on with lesbians, yeah, might help a little bit.
When you look at conflict, we get ourselves into trouble when we're not kind, because and it's not just about because it's good to be kind, but because it might not make a difference, and it might not work to be confrontational. It might do the thing you don't want, which is for them to be pushing away. So there's a sort of element of, you have to accept where people are, but do what matters. Look for inroads where you can find them. And pat yourself on the back. You're doing a great job, doing the little bits that you can, that do work, that do matter, and staying true to your values of being kind and generous.